everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. It's where we blend spirituality and practicality to help you live a life of purpose and joy. We got a bunch of people calling in, so we'll have a conversation with them. If you want to have a conversation with me, it's askjulieryanshow.com. Call in there. You got to be on camera if you do that. And then we got a whole bunch of people on YouTube live that are joining us, and that's at Ask Julie Ryan. So those of you on YouTube, if you have a question you want to ask, just put it in the chat, but please put your first name and where you're located, because everybody listening always loves to hear where you're located and where you're calling in from. And we've got Chris on the studio side, we've got Samantha on the YouTube side, you got me in the middle. So it's going to be fun. Couple of quick announcements. Stay with us throughout the show. We're going to be announcing a free class. Somebody's going to win a free class, free Ask Julie Ryan class, which will be a ball. And if you want to be considered for a free class, just subscribe on YouTube. That's all you have to do. If you're listening on a podcast network, because we're on all of them, then when you get in front of a computer or you get a minute, go on your phone, go to Ask Julie Ryan on YouTube and subscribe. And then you're entered into the drawing for a free class. Also, if you leave a review anywhere on any of the podcast networks or on YouTube or on Amazon, then you're automatically enrolled in a drawing for a free session with me. And we gave that away last week. So this is like prize heaven here this week. Angelic Attendant Training, November 1st through the 3rd, Atlanta, Georgia. It's live in person. It's going to be a blast. We have several people signing up that have already signed up. We've got a discounted rate on hotels. The hotel's fabulous. It's right next to the Atlanta airport, so you got free shuttle. It will be a magical weekend. Come join us and just go to askjulieryan.com and click on Angelic Attendant Training. Okay, Chris, let's go ahead and go to our first caller, please. Okay, this is from Christine. Hi, Julie. This is Christine from Long Beach, California. My dog hurt his back right leg a couple of days ago, and it's pretty swollen. Can you scan him and do an energetic healing on him? His name is Jax. Absolutely, Christine. And Christine's a graduate of my Angelic Attendant Training, by the way. She's joining us from the YouTube Live. All right, Christine, here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama to you. I'm going to hook into you in Long Beach and then from you to your dog, Jax. For those of you that are first time listeners, how this works is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit. I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to hook into Christine. Then I'm going to watch a laser beam go from her to her dog. And then it's going to be as if I've got a hologram in my mind's eye and I'm looking at an MRI or a CT scan or an X-ray. And then something will be identified. There'll immediately be a healing right afterwards. And so I want you to picture what I'm describing. And sometimes my analogies are hilarious, you guys. So get ready. But that is honest to God, just how they come into my head. So here we go. Christine, Laser Beam, Sweet Home, Alabama to you in Long Beach. Got you going from you to Jax. Okay, I've got it. Yeah. Okay, what's he doing? He's having trouble walking on it, and he's pulled something in there. I don't see any broken bones. I see torn ligaments, and when I see that, it looks like mm, imagine a piece of fibrous tissue. Think of a little girl with split ends in her hair. And you see the hair follicle, you see all those little wispies coming off. That's what a torn ligament or a muscle looks like to me. So, Christine, I'm putting stem cell energy on Jax's leg. And stem cell energy is a light amber colored gel. It sparkles in it. Reminds me of Dippity Doo hair gel from the 60s and 70s. And there's a vortex spinning outside of his leg. And that centrifugal force is what transforms the stem cell energy into new body parts. So that's going to help him heal. If you haven't taken him to the vet yet, I think it would be a good idea to do so. So just to double check everything. But he'll heal, and this will help him. So thanks for calling in. Hope he feels better. All right, AskJulieRyanShow.com if you want to have a conversation with me. We're on Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube Live, and you can ask a question there as well. Remember to subscribe, and then you're automatically entered into a drawing for a free class. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on the podcast too, but the drawing is for YouTube subscriptions. Okay, let's see who's next. Hi, Rami.
Hi, how are you?
I'm terrific. Did I say your name right?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I
Yes.
must be psychic or something. Perfect. Wonderful. You got a question for me?
Well, I'm calling on behalf of my son,
Okay.
who's
Where are
angry.
you? Where are you located?
Kansas City.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Okay. Great. And what's going on with your son?
He's angry. He's always angry, and I think it started in childhood. I think it's me. I'm sure it's me. I don't know, but anyway, if you could do anything, I think healing his central nervous system might help. Something physical,
Mhm.
because I think he hurt himself in football, his lower back.
Mm.
I don't know. That's
What's
been a
his
while.
what's his first name, Rami?
Zeke.
Zeke. Okay. All right. And how old is Zeke?
He's 46.
Oh, he's a grown up. Does he live in Kansas City too?
He's in Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay. And he's been cranky since he was a little kid?
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
got a short temper. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I hate to break your bubble, but it's probably not you. It probably has very little
Oh,
to do with you. We don't have
wow.
the ability to control somebody else's thoughts, and therefore we cannot control their actions. And the thing,
Right.
when we're talking at the beginning, I always get information downloaded into my head. I call those divine downloads, Rami. And what I got right off the bat was his diet has been atrocious, that he eats,
Oh,
really crummy food. And,
crappy food. Yeah.
and, and that can really cause, you know, people to be grumpy because
Yeah.
the body needs nutrients and vitamins and minerals in order to be able to function properly. So let me see if he'll scan me, if he'll scan me, if I can scan him, and then we'll go from there. So here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading to you in Kansas City, and then I'm going to go from you to Minnesota. Okay, going up to Minnesota. Got him. All right, Zeke, I'm talking to your mom. May I scan you? He's saying, what's that mean? All right, I'm like a human MRI. I can see inside your body and help you heal. He's saying, I'm fine. I don't have anything that needs healing. All right. So I don't scan anybody if I don't have their
Right.
permission to do so, but we can talk to his spirit and get information that way.
Okay.
And I don't believe that that's a violation of their privacy because their spirit's going to tell us what it wants us to know, but we're not looking at his
Right.
x-rays without his permission. So, Zeke, what is going on with your anger? Are you mad at your mom? He's saying he's mad at the world. He's saying he just wakes up mad and he goes to bed mad. What? That's miserable. All right. Do you want to change that? He's saying he doesn't know any differently. He doesn't know how to feel any differently. He feels like everybody's out to get him, and then he needs to be protective because everybody's out to get him. Have you had a concussion? He's saying several. Are you willing to eat a healthier diet? Not really, because the food makes me feel better. So he's getting a dopamine hit off of the junk food that he's eating. And that's usually why we eat it. And it's doesn't ever let us be satiated. It's It's like you could eat a whole bag of chips because there's no
Right.
nutrition involved in that, and the brain's not recognizing it. So, I think the big takeaway for this, Remy, for you is this isn't you. This doesn't have anything to do with you. So, you know, you're powerful, but not that powerful, just to let you know. Okay. Alrighty. Well, good luck. I hope he figures out what's going on. There are so many books and podcasts and things about this, and probably the best one that I can think of is Chris Palmer, MD, who's head of psychiatry at Harvard, and he found that people his patients with everything from depression and anxiety to really serious mental illnesses, that they do really well on a keto diet, and they in most instances get off their medication and their brains can heal, including those that have been out of work and on disability for decades. They can heal. So hopefully that will help. Maybe you can send him that book. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
thanks for calling. You bet. Bye, Ramy.
Bye
As
bye.
AskJulieRyanShow.com if you want to have a conversation with me, or join us on the YouTube live at Ask Julie Ryan. And you can type in your question. Just remember to put your first name and put where you're located, so we can tell where you're calling in from. That's always fun. Let's see who's next. Hi, Clay. I was just
I
thinking of
Julie.
you. I was just
I wonder
thinking of
that.
you. Like in the last 24 hours,
Well, what were
I
you
was
thinking
thinking.
about?
Well, because you came to my Ask Julie Ryan Live in Atlanta last year.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, I wonder if Clay's going to come this year again.
Oh, we would love to. We actually, the reason that I'm calling, so it's funny. I'm gonna end up asking if you do other locations, and here's why. So the reason that I/we are calling tonight is because we have kind of like this potential opportunity to move down to the Tampa, St. Petersburg area of Florida.
Ooh, ooh.
And so we want to know like kind of what that looks like to you, but also that's going to lead me to what are your other locations, because we could easily fly to Atlanta, but I was just wondering if you'd be down there too.
Well, first of all, tell everybody where you're located, please.
We are currently in Greer, South Carolina.
Okay. All right. Uh, I got a yes on Tampa St. Pete for you guys when you were in the
Okay.
middle of telling me about it. I'm hearing a
Okay.
yes. So that's coming in before you even finished making the statement or asking the question. So that's a big green light on that. Did you get a job offer down there?
So I have a job offer. Hannah has an interview in the morning, and then what, like 3 or 4 next week? Something like that, 3 or 4 next week.
Yeah.
And so we feel pretty good about where it's going. I obviously needed your confirmation. Um, but so what we're struggling with now is like finding housing. We
Yeah.
can't, I don't see us being able to buy as quickly as we need to be there, because we literally need to be there in like a month from today.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't really see the buying a house process going quite that expeditedly. But so I guess we're trying to figure out like housing, and just if she's gonna get a job. It's a little bit of a risk. I have to sign my contract by Monday if I want to take that job. And so we're kind of skating a fine line of like she doesn't have an offer yet, but as soon as I contract, I have to go.
Okay. All right, here's what I'm getting. First of all, Hannah will have a pick of more than one job from which to choose. Hi, Hannah girl. And
Hello.
you're gonna have your choice of more than one job. So that I think that's a done deal. When you were talking about buying a house, Clay, what I got was that would be good because you can go down there and scope out the territory, get like even an Airbnb if you need to in the short run,
That's
just for a place
okay.
for you guys to stay. But the city that came in the suburb was Lakeland, which is a suburb of Tampa, and she's laughing. Why
Oh,
are you
Julie, you
laughing?
never fail to disappoint us. You never fail to disappoint. You really don't. First of all, she has family in Lakeland.
Okay.
Second, that is actually very literally the next town to where the school is. So the school that I have a job offer in is in Bradenton.
Yeah.
And so if I mean obviously you're familiar at least a little bit with the area. And so that it's literally the town right next to it. I'm going to be teaching third grade, which is the
Mm.
very first time that I will have ever gone to elementary school for teaching. Um, I'm beyond myself excited, like little boy at Christmas type excited, but then I'm also nervous. Is there anything that like I need to be hesitant of? I really liked the
Yeah.
administrative team, but I don't know.
All good, full speed ahead. Yeah, and when you were talking about finding a house, I'm hearing, "Have 'em check in Lakeland." You know, those divine downloads coming into my head.
Yep.
So, no, all systems go. I get go down and scope out the area, and if you don't have a place to buy right away, that's good because you can kinda take a little bit of time. I heard get an Airbnb or get a VRBO.
Okay.
Rent someplace. Don't stay in a hotel that whole time, but rent
Okay.
someplace that you can stay in and then look around and you're not gonna be so panicked to find a place to live. What I'm interested to find out for those of you that perhaps listened to some of the calls when Clay called in before, they have a spirit of a deceased loved one in their spare bathroom, right? In your apartment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And you found out he
Martin
was
still
a
hangs out.
and you found out he was a relative, right? Like a distant relative?
Yes. So through you and through Ancestry DNA, we went back and fact checked because you told us to fact check you.
Yeah.
So we had my fourth,
Great uncle.
fourth or fifth grade uncle. His name was Martin, you said, and so and that way he's a spirit guide of mine. And so we went and checked, and he was that exact generation. I'm just forgetting off the top of my head.
It doesn't
He
matter,
was
but
that exact generation,
it it's
and
gotta
his
be
name was Martin Martin.
it's gotta be Martin Martin?
That was his first and last name.
Oh, why would his parents do that to him? That's just
I don't know.
cruel.
They should be ashamed.
Exactly. But it's gonna be fun to see if he goes with you guys to Florida, first of all. Secondly, to answer your second question, and I love that I just thought of you and here you are. I must be psychic or something. The,
Seems like it.
Seems like it. So, I am gonna do the in-person training in Atlanta. That will be the only
Okay.
in-person training I do. I did an online one in May. We'll probably stick with that schedule in the short run. It seems to be working well. So, no, I'm not coming to Tampa, but you're welcome to come to Atlanta. So,
Well, we've
yeah.
been saving up our dollars for it, so we should be
Oh.
at this one.
Wonderful. Well, we'll look forward to that. Well, good luck with everything, and, call back
Thank
in
you.
when you get settled, let us know how it's all going. You'll love it down there.
Okay.
Your class is gonna be great. You're gonna love all of it, and Hannah she'll have a job waiting for her as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Julie.
Okay.
We love you.
Take care. Love you back. Bye, Clay. Bye, Hannah.
Bye.
Oh, how fun is that? You guys, in their spare bathroom in their apartment, they kept seeing in the steam this outline, if I'm remembering correctly, of a man's head. And so they called in, they said, "Who is this spirit?" And we got this name. I had this name come in and I said he's a fourth generation great uncle or something. And then they checked it out, and sure enough, there was Martin Martin as a fourth generation great uncle. So I said, I can't make this stuff up. It's just too random, which makes it so much fun. Okay, let's go to the next caller and see what their question is. Okay, Melinda. Hi, this is Melinda from Queensland, Australia. Oh, we get to talk to you real time in the future, girl, because it's Friday over there already. I'm loving your angelic attendance book. Oh, thank you. Can you help me heal from ulcerative colitis and work out if there's a root cause for it. Thank you. Yes, root cause is leaky gut. 100% leaky gut. I'm going to connect into you. We'll do a healing on you. Please leave a review for angelic attendance while I'm connecting to, not at this moment, but at some point. Everybody listening that's read angelic attendance, just please leave a review on Amazon because it helps others find this information. And it's usually when they're in most need of comfort. Either they have a loved one who's dying or they've just lost a loved one. And the way that Amazon suggests books is on the reviews. If people are leaving reviews, they'll suggest books. So please leave a review. And if you want a free copy, just go to julieryangift.com. julieryangift.com will send you a free digital and audiobook version of angelic attendance because it's just reading that it's going to help everybody. We're all going to lose a loved one. We're all going to die ourselves someday. So that's why I give thousands of them away for free because I think this information is so important. Okay, got you. Shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. Yeah, your whole intestinal tract looks like it had parts of it look like it's starting to get shredded. Like if you took mm, a bear claw or a dog's paw with sharp nails and you just scratched on it. That's what it looks like to me. So we're rinsing it out. Spirit works through me and with me to help you heal yourself. And so irrigated out. Now here comes the stem cell energy, light amber colored gel, sparkles, because it's woo-woo, gotta have sparkles, and watery consistency. There's a vortex spinning outside of your tummy, and that's gonna help you heal. This is completely healable. Everything's healable, everything. And sometimes the healing is death, but most of the time it's not. And, it's all healable and it's not worth suffering. This is all gut. You can heal it with food. Thanks, Melinda. Hope you feel better. All righty. Let's see who's next. AskJulieRyanShow.com. Ask Julie Ryan on YouTube. Kelly Johnson. Hi, Kel. Chronic cough. Hi, Julie. Kelly from Spring, Texas, north of Houston. I've had sessions with you before. Yes, you have. I've had a chronic cough since January 2023. Please do a medical scan. All right, here we go. Comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading over to you in Texas. Got you shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. Excuse me. It right before I'm going to tell you, it looks like allergies to me. I sneeze on cue. Oh gosh, Spirit has a great sense of humor. And so that's what I'm doing is I'm getting the inflammation calmed down. Inflammation looks like red fog on body parts. Anti-inflammatory energy, Cal, looks like a royal blue energy. And when I see an allergic reaction in the sinuses or in the chest, in the lungs, or anywhere else on the body, what in your case, what I'm seeing is a lot of pollen and a lot of like ragweed stuff and things like that. So that's what lets me know that it's an allergic reaction. When we have allergies, it means that our gut's out of whack because we're already in an inflamed state. And then when there's some little stimuli that happens, stimuli, what's the plural? Stimulus, I think. And when it happens, it makes our bucket overflow of inflammation and it causes all these symptoms. So when you get your gut healthy, normally those symptoms go away. I used to have seasonal allergies when I was still eating sugar and when I had leaky gut. Since my gut's healed and I'm not eating sugar anymore, I don't have any allergies. They just went away. It's amazing. So it's really that simple. So I hope that helps. All righty. Stay with us because I'm going to announce the winner of my free class here in a couple of minutes. So you want to see if it's you. I get these great emails from people saying, oh my gosh, I was driving to work and I heard my name. And I started screaming in the car by myself. I was glad I was alone because I look like a ninny. So remember to subscribe on YouTube and you'll be entered into the free drawing. Okay, let's see who's next. while I grab a Kleenex here. Hi,
Hi,
Chris.
Julie. Hi.
Where are you?
I'm from Florida. Actually, interesting. I live about an hour south of Bradenton, so go
Oh,
figure.
how about that? Well, you can have a new friend in Clay and Hannah when they
Yep.
move down there.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, terrific. You
I'm
got a question for me?
yes, I'm actually calling on behalf of my mom, and I'm like you're Chris. I'm her technical consultant, basically.
Oh, good. Yeah, Chris is
Yeah,
my
so I
producer.
I
That's who this other Chris is talking about. Yeah.
so I didn't want to take up your live stream, but my mom had just like a quick technical question. She scheduled a medical intuitive consultant call with you for tomorrow,
Yeah.
and
Oh, great.
she was a little bit confused on how exactly does that work. Is that a Zoom call like this? Is it a phone call?
It's a phone
Would she
call.
just call
It's a
her?
phone call unless she's out of the country. And then I'll do Zoom so they don't have to pay, an out of country charge, but no, it's audio. So, yeah, she
Okay.
just calls into the number that's on her confirmation email, and, there's an
Well, she didn't
access
get a
code.
confirmation email. That
She
might be why
did.
she got
She
confused.
did. It's in her spam, most likely.
Okay. Okay. All right. And, is the is it pretty self-explanatory? Should I wa help her walk through that? Is it because she's not very technical, so
Yeah, she just dials a number and then puts in the code. And it'll hook her right
okay.
in. Yeah, yeah, and if she hasn't gotten an email, confirmation, they're sent out, like there's 3 of them the day before the
Mhm.
appointment, and they start out 3 days prior. So, if you check her spam folder, you'll probably have a bunch of them in there, but if you wanna go ahead and email us, go on askjulieryan.com, ask a question, and my assistant Rachel will send you another why don't you try your email and tell Rachel what's going on, and then we'll come back with you to your email because perhaps it's just getting put in spam with the filter from your mom, from her
Okay,
email.
great. Okay,
Okay,
thank you so much, Julie. I'll let her
terrific.
know.
Tell her I look forward to talking with her,
I will, I will. Thank you.
and tell her we can talk about anything she wants out of the buffet of psychicness. We can do medical, and we can talk to deceased loved ones, and we can scan a pet, and we can do past lives. We cram as much into an hour as we can, and it's
The whole
really
package.
fun. So, yeah, thank you for helping her.
Okay, thank you.
You
Alright,
bet. Bye, Chris.
bye.
Oh, how fun is that? Yeah, I do audio because I don't wanna sit in front of a computer screen all day long. So I get up and walk around, and I tell people, if I was on camera talking to you doing the private appointments, you'd be seasick. Because 'cause I'm walking around my house the whole time I'm talking to you. I don't wanna sit there all day. So, AskJulieRyanShow.com, Ask Julie Ryan on YouTube. Call in with your question. Let's see who Chris is gonna put up next. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Julie.
How are
Hi,
you how are you, my girl?
I am good. I am in Uruguay, in South America.
Oh, wonderful. Well, welcome. What time is it
Uh,
there?
It's an hour after your time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
terrific.
yeah. Yeah, I just met you through the Next Level Soul podcast, and
Alex,
I want to
my
thank
buddy.
you for the amazing work you do, and your service is just beautiful. I'm
Aw,
delighted. Yeah,
thank you, sweet
yeah.
Laura.
Yeah, and I want to ask you if you can scan me and heal or do advice because I've got problem with my teeth. When I was 2 years old, I was giving these antibiotics that were later forbidden, and since
Mhm.
then, well, my first teeth were brown, and then it's a lot of problems. And also, I've had hair loss since I'm a teenager, and it's consistent. And with menopause and everything, it got worse. And I had COVID, and after COVID, I lost, almost, a lot of hair.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, let me get you on my radar and let's see what's going on. So here comes my
Mhm.
laser beam from Sweet Home Alabama heading south, and I'm gonna hook into you in Uruguay. All right, Uruguay, Uruguay. How do you say it?
Here we say Uruguay.
Uruguay. Okay. Well, I was right first time. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. I've heard it both ways, but that's how I was taught to say it. Okay, got you. Shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. So I'm watching. Have you ever seen a baby doll with hair and they've got the little hair like stuck into its head? You know, they're little hair follicles almost that come out of a baby doll's head. Have you ever seen that?
Mhm.
That's what I'm watching happen. I watch stem cell energy get slathered all over your head, all over your scalp, and I'm watching like we're putting little hair plugs in there, like we're planting in a garden. You know, we're putting little hair plugs in there, and there are vortices that are spinning above your head on either side and behind your head, all spinning concurrently to help your hair grow. When you were telling me about it at first, Laura, I was getting that it had to do with your thyroid. Do you find that you're, and I'm going to look at your thyroid in a second, but do you find that you're cold or you're tired or you feel clammy at times?
Yeah.
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 Very cold,
Mhm.
low energy.
Yeah.
But my thyroid analysis are good, never nothing that shows there, you
Mhm.
know,
They may not be
even though I know.
testing the right thing. A lot of times, and the other thing about those tests, oftentimes they're testing like just one kind of thyroid. And I think there's T3 and T4. I'm not that familiar, but I've heard many times that it has to do with a combination of different thyroid panels. And the other thing to remember about those tests in the labs is that they're going to give you a level that's a normal level. Well, it's a normal level based on your age. Well, that's not necessarily the best level for you. You want an optimal level. I also shot some energetic estrogen into you. When when our sex hormones are off, a lot of the time other hormones are off because they work together as a symphony. So it's kind of like when you make chicken noodle soup and you forget to put the chicken in. You're going to have noodle soup, but it's not going to taste like chicken noodle soup. So it's an ingredient that's left out. Bioidentical hormones, are you familiar with those?
uh I need to, I've heard you talked about this in previous shows.
Yeah.
I need to do research here in my country because I'm not sure how that
Yeah.
goes here. Yeah.
So bioidentical hormones, Laura, are the exact molecular composition that our bodies make when we're young and fertile. Synthetic hormones are usually made from pregnant horsemare urine and they have extra molecules added to them so that they can be patented. Unless hay is your favorite food group, horsemare urine's probably not something your body is gonna go, "Oh, yeehaw, we've got horsemare urine in our bodies." So, yeah, I'm not a fan. I am a big fan of the bioidenticals. So a couple of things. Go to Dr. Northrup,
Yeah, yeah.
DrNorthrup.com, and she is the fairy godmother of women's health. I just interviewed her this afternoon for the show, so we'll have her on in the next few weeks, and we have a great
Okay.
conversation. You guys are gonna love it. And everything you need to know is going to be on her site. And if you don't want to use the prescription bioidenticals, she has a product line called Amata, Amata. I think it's amatalife.com. And
Mhm.
it's primarily an herb called Prairie murifica. And I believe it's been used in Thailand for 700 years for women that are peri and postmenopausal. So look at those two things, drnorthrup.com and then amatalife.com. You can get there off of her website. And I think both of those will help. But in the meantime, I shot energetic estrogen into you. This is hormonal.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
that's what I'm guessing Do you get anything about my teeth? What could I
Your
do to?
your teeth. So are they rotting or they're just discolored?
Well, they were discolored. They don't have much calcium, they kind of yellowish. And then I get a lot of cavities and I
Yeah.
need to,
Yeah. Yeah.
crowns and
Okay. So
placement.
stem cell energy is being applied. It's being brushed on with this little brush, like a makeup brush that you'd put powder on with. It's being brushed on the front and on the back, and there's a vortex spinning inside of your mouth. In the meantime, Beam Minerals, BEAM minerals.com. Beam Minerals, get the fulvic minerals, the blue bottle, and get the I think they're called electrolytes or something like that, and it's in a green bottle. And you take like half a capful. I take it in a big glass of water. My husband just chugs it like a shot of tequila out of the cap. And I drink mine out of a glass of water just because I use that to take the rest of my vitamins and minerals. But B minerals can help as well with the calcium. So, all those things. Thanks so much for calling in. It's such a delight to
Okay,
meet
thank
you.
you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thanks.
You bet.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye, Laura.
Bye.
Oh, fun. AskJulieRyanShow.com if you want to have a conversation with me. And we're at Ask Julie Ryan on YouTube. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment. And then you're entered into both of the drawings for our free class and our free session with me. So I get you for a whole hour. It's so much fun when we get to do that. So let's see who's next. All right, Sunny. Hi, Sunny. I've had 2 major abdominal sounds like the abdominal snowman from the Frosty the Snowman, claymation cartoon or video from when I was a kid. I've had 2 major abdominal surgeries in 1 year. Now I've got a hernia from it. Do you see it being a successful surgery? I'm so stressed over yet another surgery. I'm in rural Manitoba, Canada. Okay, let's get that handled so that when you have that procedure done, it's just a cakewalk and it'll be a breeze. So going in, hooking up to you in Canada. Got you, Miss Sunny. I love your name. Going in, pushing that hernia back in. All right, stitching up the intestines where that little break is. Okay, going in. The big concern with this is the anesthesia. So we're doing a heavy metal detox. Imagine there are 2 big U-shaped magnets on either side of you. They're joined in the middle, Sunny, and they're going up and down your body, and they're pulling out metallic particulates. And those look like little specks of glitter. Some of them are glittery, they're kind of sparkly, and some of them are dull. Can look like little strands of metal like you'd see on a Brillo pad or a pad of steel wool, and then also little shards. And so those are being removed, irrigating any dust that's left over, and then getting the anesthesia that's residual out the top of your head. So it just comes out and it's got little metallic sparkles in it because there are heavy metals in anesthesia. I don't know why, I just know there are. And so that's the big thing. But you're gonna be fine. You'll breeze through this. It'll be the easiest one that you've done. You'll see. So good luck. Let us know how you do. Thanks, Sunny. All right. Let's see who's next. Jessica. Jessica from Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, girl. I have a question about my best friend that passed away years ago. Joshua Cinco and I would love to know where he is and if he has any messages for me or his family. Okay, best friend. Okay, so Jessica, how you connect with Joshua is you just think of him because our heads are big satellite dishes and they receive and they transmit frequencies. Every spirit has a frequency they keep throughout all their lifetimes. And in order to get in touch with them, all you have to do is just think of them, and that immediately connects you to their frequency. So, Josh, Do you have anything you want Jessica to know? He's talking about dill pickles. Did you like dill? He liked dill pickles. What's with the dill pickles? He's saying, remember the dill pickles, and he wants you to smile and laugh every time you think of or see a dill pickle. And it's the ones that are the ice. I think they call them iceberg ones or ice something. They're like they're like a long, almost a triangular cut, and not the gherkin kinds, but I think those are sweet baby gherkins, but the dill pickles that are in the jar, but they're sliced and they're long. My son Jonathan, when he was a baby and in the high chair, he loved dill pickles, and I'd give him one and he'd just suck on it, and his whole little body would shudder. It was so cute. So every time I think of dill pickles, I laugh too. So Jessica, I hope that helps. That's a sign from him. And these spirits give us these random signs, you guys. Dill pickles? I mean, really? Oh my gosh. So I had somebody today, their deceased husband said to look for an owl. And then we looked up the significance of an owl, and there was all this spiritual meaning. So it's really fun, when we get those. Okay, let's announce who the winner is of the free class. I have to do a drum roll. Okay. This is from Kim Dorney 7714. Kim Dorney 7714 on YouTube. You are the winner of a free Angels and Enlightenment training class. And here's what Kim said. Julie, this was another fantastic show. Even though I didn't call into the show for a healing, I'll take the information you passed on to callers to help me heal ongoing health issues. You're such a blessing to all the humans here on earth from your amazing book that teaches people not to fear death, that we all have angels and loved ones on the other side waiting for us and helping us when the time comes. I also appreciate the healings you perform to help end the suffering of those who contact you. I look forward to Thursday nights and your live show. How sweet is that? All right, Kim Dorney, 7714, girl, you have won a free Angels and Enlightenment training class. What that is that's my online self-paced class, and there's lecture and stuff to read. And then the key is there are live practice groups multiple times a week. That's the key. You do the training. It's a transfer of energy from me to my students, because remember, time doesn't exist in the spirit world. I would say that about the show. When you're picturing a healing, it doesn't matter if you're listening to this real time or if you're listening to it in 3 years or 5 years. Doesn't matter, because time doesn't exist. But that energy of you focusing on what I'm describing goes to the person who's calling in or asking a question on YouTube. Same thing with the class. 90% transfer of energy at the high vibe where I swim, so you get used to sitting in that high vibe, and then 10% technique. The key is practice groups, live practice groups. They're all facilitated by graduates of my big class, my angelic attendant training. That's the one that's in person. And they're amazing. And they can all do this stuff. All you guys can do all this stuff that I do too. It's just a matter of learning it. And then that's when your skills really come in, because in the practice groups, you get validation for the information you're receiving. And then the more you do it, the more validation you get, the more you trust it, the more it's just second nature then. You turn it on and off in an instant. So don't need to meditate for an hour. Don't need to twirl 4 times and raise your right hand and jump on your left foot. Yeah, just turn it on and off. And that's what you learn how to do in both of my classes too. So congratulations, Kim. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, let's see who's next. We've got time for a couple more questions. Ooh, what a pretty backdrop. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
How are you? She's got a gorgeous
good.
backdrop for those of you that are listening. What are those, lilies? They look like Easter lilies or
It's
something.
some type of flower like I took a picture of, but I'm not sure what it is.
It's
But I love
fabulous.
flowers.
Yeah. Well, where are you located?
We're in Laytonsville, which is outside of Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Okay. Terrific. Well, welcome. You got a question for me?
Yeah, it's a medical one.
Okay.
Over the last year and a half, I've had 6 nocturnal seizures where
Ooh.
I'm asleep and then I just spaz out, totally unaware of it. And then until my husband or someone tells me that I just had a seizure.
Uh-huh.
And I've been to 3 neurologists who want to drug me, which I'm not in favor of, and saw a couple Ayurvedic doctors, naturopaths, on and on. So I would like to get to the root of it and have them stop.
Mhm. And it's only at night.
Yeah, when I'm asleep.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any um, ramifications? Like, when you started having them, have they affected, say, your blood pressure or any of your vitals? Have you had a sleep study done as well?
I had a sleep study prior to that, like, years before that. I do have sleep apnea, but now I wear a tongue stabilizing device that holds my tongue out when I sleep and it
Okay.
prevents me from snoring at night.
You may need a CPAP to help you with
Yeah,
the
I had one of
air.
those too. I hated
Yeah.
I hated
Yeah.
it and gave that up too.
Right. They've got new ones, supposedly. I have a friend that's in that business, and he says, they're little and they're way easier to use. So let me get you on my radar and let's see what's going on. All right, here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to Maryland. All right, got you shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. Have you had any falls or have you been in any car accidents? Even if you didn't
No,
hit your head, any fender benders, anything like that?
no,
You
uh,
haven't had any falls? Did you as a kid? Were you an athlete? Have you ever been in a car accident?
not that I can remember.
Wow. Congratulations. That's pretty rare. Goodness. Because you've got scar tissue in the back of your head. And
Huh.
that's normally from some kind of a fall, and you may remember it later when you're thinking about it tonight or tomorrow. You may say, "Oh, I remember falling on the snow," or "I remember," something along those lines. Doesn't have to be super
Ah,
dramatic.
I did just remember hanging out of a tree when I was like about 8 years old, hanging
Okay.
from my legs, my knees, and then plop down on the ground,
Yep.
knocked the
Okay.
wind out.
That's usually how it works. You just, you say, "No, I haven't had any falls," and then all of a sudden it comes to you. So, when I see scar tissue in the brain, the brain matter looks like thick cooked oatmeal to me, and it has the consistency of soft butter. The brain is not attached inside the skull. So when we fall, whether we hit our heads or not, if we're in an accident, if we play sports, whether we hit our head or not, is irrelevant because any kind of an impact is going to force that brain matter to go slam it against the inside of the bony skull, which is not smooth like the outside of the skull. It's got all kinds of bony prominences in it, and then it kicks back. So scar tissue in the brain looks to me like chicken cartilage, the kind you'd see in a chicken breast with the bone in that white flexible part of the chicken
Mhm.
breast. So I'm scooping that out. And imagine when you take a spoonful of oatmeal, it leaves a divot in the oatmeal itself in the bowl. Taking that divot, here comes stem cell energy, light amber colored gel, sparkles, dippity doo. There's a vortex spinning on top of it. So got that going on. I don't get these are grand mal seizures. Is that what the doctors have told you? Did they use that phrase?
I think no, I was
No.
asking
Yeah.
my husband. I
Yeah.
think so.
They're another kind of seizures that aren't as dramatic as the grand mal seizures. So I've got that. There's I've had him on the show actually, Dr. Amen,
Mm,
Amen, like amen, hallelujah at the end of a
mm,
prayer. It's spelled the same way. And he has clinics all over the country. I don't know if he's got one in DC. I know he's got one in Atlanta and one in New York, and then I think
mhm,
11 other cities. So if you go to Amen Clinics, AMEN clinics.com, amenclinics.com, they do a scan called a SPECT scan, SPECT scan, and it looks at how your brain works. It shows how your brain lights up with different activities, versus a CT scan is going to show the structure of your brain from a physiological skeletal standpoint, and it's going to look and see, they're looking for tumors and things like that, but it doesn't show how the brain lights up. I would talk to Amen Clinics and see if you can get a SPECT scan there and talk to them, because they'll help you heal your brain. The other thing in the short run is lots of omega-3s, lots
Mm.
of fish oil, like lots of it, 3,000 milligrams a day or more. And I would get the purified and the burpless, because you don't want to taste like fish all day, fish oil all day. That's obnoxious. One time I forgot to buy the burpless. I was like, oh, heavens, this is awful. So I threw them out and bought another bottle. It was bad. So be sure and get the purified, because you want to get the mercury out of it. And then you want to be sure it's burpless, and that'll help too, because those omega-3s help heal the brain, because the brain's mostly fat. So
Mhm.
I get that you'll be able to heal those, but Amen Clinics, I think, is gonna be your best bet in the short run.
Okay. All
Okay.
right, great.
Good luck. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you. I
welcome.
appreciate
Bye.
it. Bye.
AskJulieRyanShow.com. Ask Julie Ryan on YouTube. We're on
To watch it
live
tomorrow.
and in living color
Yeah,
on
we
YouTube.
tap it.
Okay, let's see who's next. Hi, Lydia. You're muted, honey. You gotta unmute.
That better?
That's way
Can you
better.
hear me?
How are you? Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
how are you?
I'm
Thank you for
terrific.
taking my
You're welcome.
We've
Please
met
tell everybody where
before.
you are. Where are you located?
I'm from New Jersey,
Okay, great.
and we have spoken before
I
privately, but tonight
I
I'm calling about my daughter,
okay,
which I've also questioned you about her as well.
okay.
She's in Brooklyn. Her name is Lauren.
Mhm.
She was born congenitally missing 4 teeth.
Oh,
She had, yeah, she had 3 implants done very uneventfully. The last one was done last August. And the reason why we postponed it, because it was a little more involved. She needed a sinus lift and bone integrated in.
mhm, mhm.
That was placed, it's like a little screw that goes
Right.
into the bone. That was placed last August, and it went uneventfully, and it's visible. So she went a few weeks with the space, but my husband, who's a dentist, made a removable fake tooth to wear for a few months while the bone is integrating, the screw is integrating.
Mhm.
And she's so clean, has such great hygiene. Um, I had called last August because when she had that little removable partial in, which she did not put in too soon, but her gum tissue split, but you said, oh, it's going to be okay. And it was. She just had the crown put in about a month ago. It looks beautiful. Um, she called a few days ago, and I think that the implant is failing. I didn't look at the photo because it's my daughter. I'm a dental hygienist, but I just can't look when it's my own.
Mhm.
Um, she has pus coming, and my husband called the oral surgeon, and he's saying it's failing and it has to be removed. And she's very strong and been really tough through this whole process. She never cries. She's crying. My husband
Mhm.
feels terrible. Can you offer any advice? We have an appointment tomorrow. I believe it's got to be taken out, which
Mhm.
it's unscrewing the bone, unscrewing
Mhm.
the.
Mhm.
So I don't even know what happened. It's very unusual.
Mhm.
Doesn't happen that often.
Yeah. It's so
And
hard when it's your baby and you know too much, and so is your
my
husband.
baby,
I think it I think
32.
it's I think it's amazing that she chose you guys and she's missing teeth congenitally and she's born to a
It
dentist and a
is,
dental hygienist. You
yeah,
can't make that up. I love it.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I haven't worked. I moved to New Jersey from New York. I raised my children, they're a year apart. But prior to that, I worked for 13 years full time. My husband's been working all of these years. She's originally missing 8. The orthodontist moved 8, 2, 4, 6, 8 premolars. The orthodontist did a fabulous job here and moved her molars up. So she was only missing 1, 2, 3, 4. The 3 were so uneventful. I said, oh my goodness, I worried all those years for nothing. Thank God, thank God. And this one, my husband had made a beautiful, um, it was it was permanent. But his friend, the oral surgeon, said, I do 8 sinus lifts a week. Why don't you just have it done? You know, we're not getting any younger either. Why don't you just have it done? And then it's taken care of. So she's so upset.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all are. My husband feels responsible, but it's not him. I don't believe it was
No.
the oral surgeon either.
No. No.
Can you offer
Here's what
any?
I'm seeing, Lydia, is when you were talking about it, I went ahead and I connected into you and then into Lauren because I'd scanned her before and I knew she'd let me in. So I did. And what it looks like to me is that the bone graft that they did, it has a split in it. Like sometimes you'll put a nail into a piece of wood and it will separate out. It'll make like a crack out from where the nail is, horizontally. That's what it looks like,
Yes.
and she's got necrotic tissue in there. So she's got dead tissue. She's got dead cells in the bone graft that they put in when they put the plug in for the implant, and then it's gotten infected. So what I've been doing is basically tunneling that out, like scooping it out. Imagine do you remember those old-fashioned cuticle removers they used to have that were kind of a channel and they came up on the side and you could buy them
Yeah.
in the drugstore and, you could run it around your cuticles. Now they use cuticle scissors at the manicurists. But that's what it reminded me of. It was a device that reminded me of that, and it was just scooping out that necrotic material, that black dead cell material. And then I watched stem cell energy go in there. I watched the plug come out, the stake, the spike. What do you call it? The post? What do they call it in
The
the dental world?
implant. It's
The
like a
post.
little
It's like a screw.
titanium screw.
Right, and it's got on the end of it, that's what they screw the new tooth on to.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, so let's call it a post, and so I
Yes.
watched that get removed. I watched, antibiotic energy get put around that, which is it's a really bright fuchsia color. Think of more pink than purple in fuchsia, so that's gonna help. I believe she's gonna need to get it out, and then they'll probably do another bone graft to get that
That's what he
in.
said.
Yeah, and then they'll do another post in once that bone graft heals, but the stem cell energy that was put in the bone that was added previously is gonna heal that. She's gonna heal quickly, and I'm so sorry she's going through this, but the end result's gonna be good. Yeah.
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 I mean,
She's gonna be fine.
it's right.
Yeah.
The 2 pointed teeth. It's the
Yeah.
one right next to it, and
Yeah.
it's visible.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
I mean, it's not terminal, but
right, right. I understand that. When I had braces as an adult, I had it in my 20s and had braces in my 20s, and they pulled one of my lower front teeth, and I walked around with missing my lower front tooth for I don't know how many months till they pulled them together with the braces, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." I understand. I've been there.
It's
It's
embarrassing.
embarrassing. Yeah, it's embarrassing. But
So,
bottom line is she's
just to
going to heal fine.
reiterate, um, they did the sign initially.
Yeah,
The oral surgeon lifted the sinus and
right,
did a bone graft, and
right.
it's
Yeah,
splintered then.
yeah, yes.
And it's infected. She's on clindamycin because I think she's allergic to penicillin. I'm not sure, which is so
Okay.
strong.
Yeah.
And
So get her on an
we
antifungal. Get her on an antifungal, like a nystatin.
nystatin.
Mm-hmm. Nystatin. Your husband can write her a script for it. Get her on
Yes,
nystatin because that antibiotic's going to whack her gut, and when the gut's
such a
whacked,
strong one.
that's where that's where the immune system is based. And so she's going to want a strong immune system. So have her get on nystatin. She's going to completely heal from this. So keep us posted. Let us know how she does. Thanks for calling
Okay,
in.
Julie,
Okay.
thank you so much. Tomorrow
You're
is the
welcome.
appointment. It will come out, but
She'll
she'll
do
be
great.
okay.
She'll do
And
great.
then
Yeah,
I
she'll do
believe he's
great.
putting more bone in tomorrow,
Great.
the
Perfect.
surgeon.
Perfect. It's already happened
Okay,
energetically. She's going to be just terrific. So go hold her hand and she's going to be wonderful. Call back in. Let us know how she does.
thank you
Okay.
so
You're
much. Thank you,
welcome.
Julie.
Bye. All righty, everybody.
Bye.
That's it for this week. So sending you lots of love from Sweet Home, Alabama. Mwah. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and a terrific early part of next week. And then remember, subscribe on YouTube. Ask Julie Ryan. Leave a review anywhere you listen to podcasts, on Amazon for any of my books, and also on YouTube. And you'll be entered into drawings for free stuff. So also come to my live the end of the month, last Tuesday of the month at julieryan.com/live. And I'll see you there. Bye, everybody. To enhance your spiritual journey, click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and share with your family and friends.